Hello, everybody. This is lesson number 52, and it's kind of a weird one. As I look back at this book I wrote 30 years ago, and it's called Dream Interpretation. Sleep occupies, a third of our lives, and our subconscious mind is probably 90% of our mind. So if you tend to think and defrag and reboot your brain as you sleep and go through a great deal of thoughts. And so sometimes your dreams can be useful to you. Sometimes they're not, because a lot of times, this is my opinion, I think your brain kind of defrags and goes through the events that you went through and organizes and makes sense of what has happened to you. And so you could have a dream, for example, you took a dog for a walk, and then a big dog walked close to your dog, and you were a little worried that it might bite it, and then you crossed the street, and then you might have some weird dream of a big dog driving a car, something weird like that. That doesn't tend to mean too much, but there are other times in your life, because you were just kind of taking events where you had some emotion, and your brain kind of went through and sorted them out, and so that dream might be pretty meaningless. Or you might have a dream where you have a boss that's really frustrating you, and then you have the dream of this boss, and he, pushes you underwater, drowns you. Well, that's pretty self-explanatory what's going on. Or you have a dream where you want this promotion, and but the boss is holding out some food, and you can't get it. And well, that's pretty self-explanatory. So I think I'll say something here. Dreams are very powerful, and they're very useful. They don't always mean something specifically meaningful, but sometimes they do. And if they happen enough that you should realize, hey, this is kind of important to me, or it's occupying a great deal of my energy. The other problem with dreams, though, is I said they're the randomness of them, and the randomness that you remember them or not. 90% of our dreams we don't remember. So you could be having all of these powerful, meaningful, insightful, useful dreams that you don't even remember. And then you could remember the dumb, silly ones where you saw a tree and it was green and it was kind of big, and you noticed that it was, and then you dreamed of a green car, and didn't make any sense because of something. Your brain is just kind of rebooting, kind of shut down and sorting out some files. So look at your dreams in that way. They aren't messages from the gods or the spirit world trying to guide you in a way, although you could think they are, in that they are your subconscious mind, which is vastly more powerful than your conscious mind, but they are not necessarily organized in a useful way. So pay attention to your dreams, look at them, and use them for what you can, but don't put too much stock in them. And the other problem is, I said, you don't necessarily remember your dreams, all of them equally, so you have a sampling error that's big. All right. One of the other problems of dream, or one of the useful things about dreams, is you can't usually interpret them yourself very well. I've had people tell me their dreams, and I went, oh, that means this or that, and they're like, wow, I never thought of that. And to me, it seemed like so obvious. You might have a dream where, say, somebody's climbing a ladder, and the ladder is real rickety, and they can't quite get to the top, and I'm thinking, well, you're thinking of a promotion. And they're like, oh, wow, that makes a lot of sense now. And I'm like, why didn't you see that? So it's amazing to me. I've kind of, unfortunately, or not unfortunately, but through no fault of my own, have a lot of friends that tell me their dreams, and they kind of want me to interpret them now and tell what they mean. And I've kind of got a reputation for that. So people will tell me their dreams and ask me what they mean. And a lot of times, more often than not, I'll have a very insightful thing about their dreams that helps them. They're like, wow, that makes great sense to me. And almost every time I'm like, this was very plain. Didn't it make any sense to you? So one thing about this lesson, I would say, is try to have a very trusted friend that knows you and you trust, which you should have anyway, unless you're a socially, mentally, emotionally unhealthy person and you have no friends and no one you trust. Then you got to ask you another question about your life. But try bouncing, have a good friend and start bouncing your dreams off of them. It might build a friendship more. It may help you understand yourself more. It's kind of a useful thing in your own growth. And I said again, don't put too much weight into it because, a lot of times dreams aren't that meaningful, and sometimes they are. I've had a lot of people tell me their dreams, and they're pretty meaningful, although probably for them to tell me the dream, even subconsciously, they probably knew it was more meaningful than the random defragging, compartmentalizing dreams. So anyway, that is about all I have about dream interpretation. Any questions? Nope. All right. Thanks a lot. Hope this helps somebody. Bye.